Hey. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my pop-up purge today. Well, pop-up live. No, I mean, I'll be selling some plants, but it's not going to be purgy style. Today, you folks are going to watch me tissue culture fester. Ugh, fester. Let's take a look at fester. This is fester. Bong. Fester is a large form Monstera delicioso albo. And I am going to be recording this to post it on my socials. So I'm going to set that up real quick. And then I have to get some tools to cut fester with. So I will be right back with some tools. All right, here we go. Fester, that's right. Today is all about Fester, Shifted Cryptid. We're going to go ahead and put him out of his misery. For those of you that are new here, I will explain a little bit about Fester. So Fester came to me as a dead-headed node. When I got him, he was just this piece right here with this cutting here. As you can see, all of the apparent growth points on Fester have been used. So I bought him to mess with him, thinking that if I tissue cultured him, maybe it would come out different. Oh, I forgot to start the recording for my social media, so I'm going to go ahead and have to repeat that part. Sorry, guys. Okay, so this is Fester, and Fester came to us as a dead-headed node. I received just this stick right here with this spent node right here. I had intended to tissue culture him, and it took me so long, he actually ended up popping new growth. And for a while, we thought Fester was going to be pretty awesome. He was half moon, very light speckling, and then he just, another half moon, went so freaking white. This was all white. It's all crunchy now. His newest leaf, that's not the newest, the one before, completely white. And here his newest leaf, yet again, completely white. Now the good news for Fester is we still have green on this stem right here. Boop. Green on this stem right here. So we're going to attempt to put him back to somewhere where he's going to produce more stable variegation. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and give him a cut, see if we can't tissue culture him. My thoughts are in tissue culture because of how white this stem is. We may not be able to get a nice genetic pattern out of this, but the piece we'll be taking for tissue culture is going to be this piece right in here because it looks the best for my purposes. So hopefully, this piece right in here. So hopefully, Fester, here you go, right there. So hopefully Fester will do okay for us in culture. He would be our first large form albo. We do have... we have Delicioso Aurea, small form, and the large form Yellow Maryland. So it'd be nice to get all the albos. We also have Morticia, our small form albo that is in culture already. So it'll be nice to get this large form in here. And although Fester looks rough, his stem looks phenomenal. He's still very happy and healthy. Let's see. Is that a large form? It sure is. Did you Frankenstein him in a lightning storm? Ugh, no, he did it himself. Goodness gracious. I don't know why Fester did that. Hi, Aroid Panda. I should have seen that coming. Selling any part of Fester. Possibly Hunter A. Let me go ahead and cut him up. And then we'll see what we come up with. Shifted Cryptid. I sure do. Culture Drosera. We have a couple of varieties in here. Brian Harshman is joining us on YouTube. Well, thanks for joining us. All right, so here we go. With Fester, he has these really two well-rooted aerial roots right here. So if you can see, these are nicely rooted aerial roots right here and right here, plus he's rooted at the stem. The part that I'm going to want to take for culture is actually right above it because I'm looking at the darkness on the stem. This node is gorgeous for my purposes. So aerial roots right here and right here. And I'm thinking these nodes right here, these three right here are going to be great for my purposes. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go right above this aerial root. Make sure I get it in the picture here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut right above this aerial root here. I'm going to leave that node alone because that's where your new growth is going to come out of. And then I'm going to go right here. So this is where I'm going to cut my new growth, right in between the nodes, or for my tissue culture purposes. Eek. Ta-da! All right, so if you are interested in a piece of Fester, I could probably, I don't want to deadhead him again, but I probably could do this one leaf node combination right here. Like I could cut him right here and give you the one that is rooted here. You're interested as well? All right, I'll go ahead and put it up. It is going to be a Fester mid-cut. It's the only one I'm going to offer because this top cut, woohoo, she's white, friends. So I don't know if anybody wants to risk it. I mean, I guess I could start. I'll start the top cut as a $1 auction and see if anybody's interested. I do not put a lot of hope on this growing back, despite the green on the stem. This part, the one I'm going to cut for you folks in auction, looks like she's going to be just fine. All right, so Fester mid-cut. And I'm going to start it off at $20. And there you go. Boop. And that will be this cut right here. I will take it off for you folks. And then I will pull it out of the soil so you can see it. I don't want to damage these two nodes, which is precarious, because these have very tight internodal spacing. There we go. All right, now we'll pull Fester out, see what we've got underneath here. And a nice chunky aroid root. or aeroid mix. That's what you hear all this chonk, chonk, chonk from our perlite and stuff. Well, he is nice and root bound as expected. He's been in here for a couple of years. Oh yeah. All right, here we go. Can you glue the ends? I sure can do it for you if you would like, no problem. And here we go. We're going to see what kind of roots we're looking at with Fester. Oh yeah, nice. All right, here's that mid cut. Look at that chunky root right there. So gorgeous mid cut. The white part's obviously a little bit crispy already, but it does have two very cute but tightly spaced nodes and a chunky ass root system. That's coming out of soil, so there you go. And congratulations, Hunter A. Try dropping it into head hydro. I will certainly take care of those things for you. We'll pop her into some semi-hydro because we are not shipping for anybody. I can ship this tomorrow if you'd like because I don't have anything else to ship tomorrow, but tomorrow would be the last ship day. You'll take the top too? All right, let me go ahead and throw the top up for auction. I'm going to keep this dead-headed for the butt for myself and see what she pulls up. Now I'm going to wash my hands again because I did get dirty and I don't want to touch that other cup with dirty hands. Because I am taking these interspacing nodes, I didn't want my hands to be dirty and there to get any bacteria in here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the top cut, and I'm going to do it right here, right before you hit the node of these last. There's a node hidden under here because this is where there will be another node there, and you'll get this node and all of that, and I'm taking this guy right here. So right here. There we go. And we are going to get auction off starting at $1 this top cut, and I will continue to show how we're going to deal with the rest. Yeah, there's a very low chance on this top cut. Keep that in mind. It is so white. So that's why we're starting it off at $1, this Fester top, because she be white, folks. Very low percent chance, but it does, again, have green on the stem. So here is what Fester top cut looks like. Your newest leaf, crazy cream, practically see-through. The leaf before, similar sitchy, but look on the stem. There is green on there. So there it is. Fester top cut. This is what you will get right here. Couple of nodes. Who knows? Good luck. She white. All right, back to what we were doing here. This is the cut that I've decided to take. This is before Fester went too white on us. So I've ripped off a piece, that last leaf right here, and I'm going to take this and put in my jar right here. And just because you folks are still bidding on Fester top cut, I want to make sure you see with your own eyes what you're bidding on. This very, very white top cut. Yes, there are a couple nodes. She very white. All right, congratulations, Squishy Otter Alice. You got the top cut. And I will put that in stratum. If you folks want me to ship tomorrow, let me know. I did get pretty much everybody out today, so I do have room to ship tomorrow. Otherwise, we are holding until the beginning of the new year. All right, so I took that node spacing right here and I put it in the solution. This is a magnetic stir bar. It'll keep the solution stirring. What's in here is distilled water because I want to use clean water. 4 milliliters of bleach. I was trying to think of how much I had actually used. 4 milliliters of bleach and 1 drop of Tween 20. Sure, Hunter, I'll show you the mid cut again. Can you ship tomorrow? I'm off this week. I can sure do that. You'll take yours tomorrow, you betcha. All right, so here, Hunter, is your mid cut. Let's get her. I'm going to show you the node right here in case you want to take a picture. node and roots. Nice stem on that one. Nice modeling of green and whatnot. And then it's a half moon. It's been producing half moons. So you'll get 2 slightly crispy half moon leaves right there. Nice roots. All right. I will ship you both out tomorrow since you requested. No problem. Next, we're going to take this and put it on a stir plate back in the lab. So I'm going to go ahead and drag that back there. I'm actually going to grab some stuff to treat your monsteras and let the callus. And then I'll be back, and you guys can watch me do some other stuff. Ooh, totally not taking everything with me. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead. Literally beautiful. You're optimistic. Yeah, the mid cut looks great. The top cut looks scary. So not going to lie. It looks terrifying in my opinion. But with the right hand, I'm sure it'll do something. I'm going to go ahead and pot this up, and then I want you guys to decide. I was tempted to cut my variegated domesticum because it's also reverting. So if you guys wanted to see me cut another plant, I could totally do that. Hey, Nay. Do you need to buy heat or insulation like 20 degrees in Iowa? So insulation, good question. Insulation is added automatically. Heat packs are an additional charge, and I highly recommend you purchase them because our live arrival guarantee does not apply without that purchase because it's cold here too. So I'm going to pin it for you right now. Give me a second to get down there. Boop. And now is the perfect time to talk about our raffles as well. So I'm going to go grab those real quick. Okay, any purchase of $25 and above gets you a purple ticket for our raffle. The raffles are all going to be chosen on New Year's Day. The names will be chosen on New Year's Day. And your purple plants will be this Monstera Burl Marks Flame and this Anthurium Magnificum No ID, affectionately known as Bastard X. Not official, just affectionate. It's an affectionate terminology. Heat packs unable to purchase. There we go. Sorry, I forgot that last button. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. It should be up now. All right. And available for purchase, we have the red raffle tickets. These are $10, and all proceeds benefit the local veteran house, or veterans place is what it's called. So all proceeds will go to them. You also get a little cool keychain with that. I can show you an example of some of our keychains. So we have some Verrucosium, the Monstera Delicioso albo. I have a picture with everything to offer. I'm not even sure. I think this is a Homelamina because it's nice and peachy. Anthurium King Vetchi. So yeah, we will totally send these out before the holiday, obviously, because they can sit in the mail and not die. All right. And finally this month, oh, I didn't show you the heart balloon up for grabs. The plant for the red tickets is a variegated alocasia heart balloon. She's really cute. Look at that variegation. Underwhelming in this light, but stunning in person. And yes, that last leaf is giving the old alocasia winter drop. So there we go. And finally, our blue tickets for this month enter you in to win this Anthurium Renaissance. And that is the last of our raffles. Again, raffles will be chosen New Year's Day. And of course, we have spin wins available as well. What does that mean, you may be asking? Well, we have this cool wheel here. Every spin is a winner. We'll pull the spin live, and then we will tell you what you won. And I will show you that real quick on the wheel, and then I'll check what you guys say you want me to do next. I got to pot up this dead head of Fester. All right, so here is our lovely wheel. Everything on here is worth more than the $5 it will cost you to spin. I know this is terrible reflection for whatever reason. Is that better? Yeah, all the lights are on. There we go. Okay, so mystery. We'll go ahead and pick a plant out for you. Whatever strikes my fancy. Choice of varicosium or... Oh, yeah, choice of varicosium because we have both the Netherlands and the South America. This is the ticket for the blue raffle. 20% off your total. Oh, I lost the thing. Never mind. We can't do spins because for some reason the tab is missing. So I'm going to yank that one down real quick. Hopefully you find that. Anywho, what do we want me to do? Do we want me to cut another plant today? Is that what we're doing? Too late, right? I'll find that later. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pot this Fester's node up. Let me know. I can either have you watch me pot plants up and then offer some for sale, or we could cut that domesticum that is making me angry. Ooh. Okay, so I had a pot set aside for Fester, but it has no drainage. Can't use that. So I'm going to have to go outside. Jumpy bought a spin. Okay, let me go find the tab for that. Thank you, guys. Ha-ha! This little piece is the piece that fell off. If you do want a refund, let me know, Jumpy. But I think we're good now. I did not spend like $100 on like the super high. I only spent $40. But we'll go ahead and do it. You didn't know what was going on. I'm new and got excited. Do you want me to just refund you for that? Let's do that because the wheel's acting weird today. So, boop. I'm going to do that when we get off this live. Can you spin? You sure can, especially since we found the little knobby knob. All right, we'll go ahead and take care of it. I'll give you a nice spin. Ready, everybody? Woo! Oh, see, the knob came off again. Let me tape that on. Maybe it'll... Should have spent the extra money, apparently. All right, I went ahead and taped this on so it won't come off. That's the only thing I did is make sure it won't fly off here. And then we're going to go ahead and spin. Can you see where it lands? We've got blue. Choice of, you can choose a varicosium, a snowdrift, and I'll show you those plants real quick. So you may choose one of our verrucosums. So we have a ton. This is what they look like up close and personal. Sorry, I'm trying to hold this with one hand. And this is a Philodendron verrucosium. Is this a South America? I'm almost positive. Yeah, that's a South America. We have the Netherlands as well. They're more green. Where are they? Do we have a... All right, and then we have snowdrifts. That's another option as well. There you go. Snowdrift. And then... Is that a Netherlands? Yeah. Darn, I got an eye for these things. All right, and this is your Netherlands. Not nearly as red as the South America. Here's the Netherlands. This is a Philodendron verrucosium Netherlands. And this guy, nope, wrong one. That one. All right. This guy right here, Philodendron verrucosium South America. See how he's much more red? We have red veining on the back as well. So there you go. Let me know which one you would like. And I can ship tomorrow. I do recommend heat packs. Highly recommend heat packs. All right. You'll do the South America? You bet. All right. Sounds good. All right, folks. Are we cutting a domesticum or are you just going to watch me do some stuffs? No worries. Thanks for doing a spin. They're super fun. A little bit of fun in here. We try and have a good time with that. I'm going to punch holes in this so I can pot in this pot because I like this pot. I liked the size of it for moving up. So how I sized it was we were root bound in the last one. This one still has a lot of room. And I know myself. I know I'm going to let it go in there for a couple of years. So I always take a look. I mean, we touched the bottom. So it's definitely not too big. But, yeah. So it'll be a nice size pot to fill it out. I am going to punch holes in the bottom. All right. If anybody wanted to purchase Philodendron verrucosum in South America, we have those available because we have ever so many. And that is how they ended up on the wheel because I did import them in 6 or 3 figures a piece. So a lot of them. Snowdrift is our gorgeous green baby. All right. And then I am going to reuse the soil as a base for my Monstera because it's going to take a lot of soil in here. And I saw nothing wrong with the plant. But this soil is probably a little nutrient devoid. So we will make sure to mix it up with some fresh soil. But yeah, I'm probably just going to go ahead and do that. And then go grab some fresh soil for this guy. Mix it up. Since this is a Monstera, it will go in my standard chunky aeroid mix. I do have a video on my social medias that explains what's in that. So as you see, I kind of, let me get my hand out of the way. So I filled the bottom with soil and mixed together some of the old soil with brand new soil. I laid the roots as far down as possible. And now I'm going to go back to my big bin of soil and just top this guy off. And here's what's left of Fester, all tucked in, safe and sound. I am not going to water Fester today because this soil is not dry. There's still some moisture in it. Now, you can't really tell by looking at it because it looks flaky, but when I stick my fingers in there, there's moisture. Plus, I want this all to callus off before I start introducing water and releasing bacteria. So yeah, that's Fester. What's up, folks? Do you want me to sell some stuff? Do you want me to cut that domesticum? Nobody's commented on that I can see. I'm just double checking. Nope, no crazy comments yet. All right, folks, I think I'm going to do the domesticum because she's driving me nuts. Obviously, or I wouldn't have mentioned her a couple of times. So if a plant starts to revert around here, this is our solution. We cut them. Take that! Stop reverting! I don't like it! Ah! Sorry, that's my arm. All right. I'm going to put Fester back into the lab and let him do his thing for a while. Bye, Fester. And I am going to introduce you to a plant that I have not named. Will reverted genetics come through in culture? No, it depends on the plant. I'll explain that in a minute. All right, here's my domesticum. Apologies, I had to dump out. Did you say you potted the mid-cut up for me? That's up to you. I will probably put it in soil here for you if you want. We will also ship bare root if you prefer. For the top cut, you got the mid-cut, but for the top cut, we will definitely do that in a semi-hydra because there are no roots. So it'll be dirty spag. But for the mid-cut, you want soil? Yeah, that'll work perfect. Probably a 4-inch pot. I'll see what it fits into. So we'll do that for you. No problem, Hunter. All right, up next, this domesticum has been driving me insane. Perhaps you can notice why. Look at these gorgeous leaves. All right, look at the first one. So I bought it probably, I would say, not with the reverted. So it had to be these two bottom leaves. That would be my guess, that I bought them with these leaves. With these bottom leaves right here. And since then, I mean, green, nice variegation, nice variegation, nice variegation. We had a nice patch in here, so I will probably take this for tissue culture. But as you see to the top, what's happening is it's splitting. So there are two types of variegation, two major types of variegation, two that we'll talk about today. One is called chimeric, and just like the Greek word implies, it means there are two genetic signatures living in the plant. The other is called stable. The examples of chimeric are your Monstera delicioso albos. These guys, the domesticum variegated, they are chimeric. Other things where you see a lot of striping, I mean, it's not a guarantee that if you see a ton of striping on the stem that it's chimeric, but it is a good indication as to whether or not the plant may be chimerically variegated. The other stable type of variegation is going to be, think your Thai constellation, Jose Bueno, let's see, who else? And let me grab one, for example. Again, this is not 100% guarantee to know whether or not the plant is chimeric, but look at the Jose Bueno stem, right? You don't see the variegation come out through the stem, but when you look at these leaves, it's clear these leaves are variegated. They're gorgeous, right? Look at the domesticum stem. This one you're seeing two different genetic patterns coming out of the stem at the same time. So the stem is showing two different patterns. Again, this is more of a suggestion on how to see it as opposed to like a rule of law. All right, so this guy is probably chimeric. When a chimera reverts, it usually means that the variegated genetics have disappeared. They might have just been hidden within the cells, and you might be lucky enough for them to come back out. Can I show the other one again? I sure can. But if it's chimeric, your chances are significantly lower. You'll see, for me, even for the plants that are chimeric, I almost always go for something that has mottled variegation over something that's half moon, because it shows the chimerism is like mottled throughout. It's not necessarily going to be luck of the draw on which part of the stem you hit. It'll be mottled throughout. Again, here's an example of a Jose Bueno. See, the stem shows no variegation on it at all whatsoever. No variegation. Completely lemon lime, gorgeous stem, very clean, pretty stem. But as soon as you top the plant down, you'll see you've got some that are lemon lime, some that are dark and speckly. This one's like almost half moon speckle. I mean, each leaf has variegation. Plus, like the ghost, these also get a little bit darker with time. So given time, this super duper light lemon lime will get a little bit darker. But as you see, it takes quite some time. I actually have a feature of my Jose Bueno, the mother Jose Bueno, when she threw out a leaf almost exactly like this. It was almost completely cream. So if you want to check that out, go check on my social medias. That leaf is much darker now than it is this creamy color. It's more of a lemon lime, and that's how they work. And that's the difference between something that's stable variegation, something that will always be carrying the gene inside of it, and something that is carrying two defined strains of DNA, like this chimeric domesticum, whatever. Y'all know what I meant. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to cut this bitch, and I will go ahead and offer at least a top cut. See, there's new growth down here. I feel like I'm going to take her all the way down. Let's start cutting and see what we end up with. Got to spray. I always warn people, no matter what tool you're using from plant to plant, it doesn't matter if it's a scissor or a tweezer or a scoop. I highly recommend, like knives. Hey, noobs, nice of you to make it today. I know it was a pop-up, so it's good to see the familiar faces. So make sure you're sterilizing tools that are going to come in contact with your different plant. So I spray isopropyl alcohol and give them a nice wipe. That's why our tools all look rusty as all get out, because they are, my bigger concern is sterilization. And once they get too dull, I'll just get a new pair. So it's just the way it works. Now with this guy, let's take a look. Let's get nice and close in here. There is a tiny, I actually see two new growth spots way down at the bottom, which is good news for me. Let me see if I can get them on camera. There's one right here. There he is. That little spot in between this leaf and the stem, right down here. That's one node that's showing growth. And there's actually growth way down in here. Let me see. Let me show to the camera that's recording. Growth way down in there. See the tiny new growth spots? All right, so I'm going to leave those two bottom nodes alone. They look like they're going to totally pop. Yippers, your favorites are getting there. Fantastic. Are there any snips you would recommend? Yes. I recommend either kitchen snips, like especially if you've got, really depends on the size of your plant, actually. For the smaller plants, we use the quilting shears, or not shears, they're quilting snips. They're tiny little, this plant's a little big for the scissors that I usually use when it comes to fine tune, like tiny pieces that I'm working with. But I do want to show you, I mean, they're the ones that look like a swan. Everybody's grandmother has had one, right? Everybody opens their sewing kit that their grandma has, and it has that swan-shaped tiny pair of scissors that's maybe like this big. You know, it's not big. I use that for like trimming leaves and for very narrow stems. This guy, I could probably use that one for, but I've already sterilized these. And the reason I'm using these are actually medical scissors, and I've sterilized them. And I'm really like through the pressure cooker, not just with isopropyl. And I really want to be cautious because I am attempting to tissue culture her with the hope that she will come back. So that said, ooh, the eyebrow ones. Yeah, exactly. You can use them for eyebrow, all the fine detail ones. But I always remember opening my mom's or grandma's sewing kit and finding them in there. Probably not coming tomorrow. Snow is on the way. I don't blame you. So for the bigger nodes, I recommend even getting kitchen shears if it's a really thick stem. Yeah, I might stay home as well, noobs. Depends on how much snow we get. So kitchen shears for a thick stem or pruning shears. I know you guys have all seen them. You can't sterilize either of these, but if I'm cutting a stem that is that large, chances are it's probably going to need to grow and be re-sterilized again anyways. All right, so I pointed out those nice growth points. I'm not going to fuck up the plant because I love her, and I really do hope she grows back. So I'm choosing to go, the camera's a little different angle this time. There we go. So I'm choosing to go in here, right here. I'm making sure that there's a little more space on the tops because I'm going to need to trim it down during the tissue culture process. And now at this point, the growth will come out of the node. I don't need any more of the stem on that part. So I'm going to cut here. For tissue culture purposes, I love a large chunk of this stem. So I'm definitely taking these bottom two. It gets a little lemon lime around here. I'm tempted to take her here. Now it does look like I don't know if I bought her that way, but there was a node right here that was activated and either died or snipped something there. Must have been us. So I'm tempted. I don't want to reuse that node, so I'm going to go the one below it. Yeah, I'm going to do this because I don't want to try and sterilize that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go right here. And then I feel like maybe I'll do one more cut and then just propagate these guys. If anybody wants a mid or top cut of this variegated domesticum, here is what your top would look like, and your mid would have like one wonky leaf. I'm going to snip them right now. All right, so here's your mid-cut domesticum variegated. And here's the top cut. If anybody wants me to pop those up, go ahead and let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to continue to show you. Oh, I did not prepare a jar. So I will be right back with, I got to get a jar to sterilize this guy in. Woo! So I don't forget what plant that is. All right, I have gotten a beaker that is 400 milliliters of distilled water, actually reverse osmosis to be technical, and 4 milliliters of normal Clorox bleach, 1 drop of Tween 20, and my stir bar. So that is what we're going to put the domesticum in real quick. Ooh, did I cut the orange princess yet? I didn't. You know what? I could pop that guy on real quick too. Let's do her. She is on the list of things to do. I'm going to take this entire stem because I really, really, I really want the domesticum to take. If I had more off of Fester, I would have taken it as well. Our odds around here were running. Oh, look at that new growth. Boop. Sometimes it's hiding behind your pedial. I will do one more cutting then. We are going to do the orange princess. If anybody wants any plants that you are interested, we are taking requests. We are still shipping out tomorrow. So if anybody wants theirs shipped this year, we certainly can do that for you. And don't forget, we have our raffles that we'll be drawing on January 1st. All right, so I'm going to take this entire thing. And the key to these guys, I don't trim them down before I sterilize because I don't want to risk introducing more bacteria from air exposure and whatnot. I do take off all these little aerial roots that are kind of crispy. Sometimes I'll trim them if they're really big. These are just easy to come off. They pop off. And all these little wooden, like your pedial where it's dried and you end up with like dried leaf pieces on here. I will try and just give it a little scrape. I'm not trying to scrape the outside because I would risk infecting the plant with something off of my nails. But if it peels off really easily, scrape might not be the best word for that. More of a massage. Massage anything off that automatically just wants to pop off. And then she too will go in this. I am going to have to cut her. Boo! Hiss. I hate the more times you cut, the more you risk infection or some kind of contamination. But I am going to have to cut her again. She is a smidge too tall for this here beaker. Boo! All right, let me go sterilize again. I'll be back. All right, I have re-sterilized my scissors with isopropyl alcohol. And I'm going to choose a wider spacing, internodal spacing. Actually, this one's probably the best because it's the longest internodal spacing. So the space between nodes. And it'll allow me to trim up around where I had to recut that guy. All right, now this will go back on my stir bar and spin for about an hour. We're going to cut one more plant today. And then I'm probably just going to do chores and let you guys pick some plants if you want while we wait for that because it's an hour. It's an hour just sitting on a stir bar doing nothing. Well, I'm doing nothing. The plant's being sterilized. So here we go. We're going to put this guy on the magnetic stir plate. Okay, and finally today, our last plant that we're going to cut is going to be that orange princess. Thank you for reminding me, Planty Pittsburgh. I was waiting for her to get a little larger. It doesn't matter, but I always like having the extra tissue. All right, as always, I'm making a complete mess. Welcome to the chaos. All right, this sexy beast is a gift, came from Planty Pittsburgh. Much appreciated. Take a look at some of the variegation on this. What? How they come out almost completely red. So sexy. There you go. Oh, if I have any microfauna safe plants? Well, you do you. I was just curious. No, that's a perfect idea, Planty Pittsburgh. Is there anything else anybody thinks I should cut? I don't know. I think I'm going to end up after this. These were the only ones like on my radar to me to get done. I'm going to try the Esmeraldas again, but reptile safe. Yeah, we have a really small selection of reptiles, terrarium stuff. The stuff in our terrariums is reptile safe. because it's mostly going to be used in a terrarium. I can go ahead and pull out some of that stuff for you, and I will show you that in just a minute. Let me go ahead and sterilize my tools yet again. Got to sterilize these scissors before I go ahead and cut this orange princess. Her inner spacing is really tight, so I'm not going to be selling any off of her because I may fuck her up, and I may have to ask Planty Pittsburgh for more. But I think we got this. I'm pretty skilled. I trust myself. And our final victim for our little demonstration today is this gorgeous orange princess. Oh, she's so pretty. I hate cutting the pretty ones because it makes me really nervous. Not that, I mean, Fester is ugly as fuck, so what am I going to say? All right, so that one's rooted. Again, the first thing I'm doing here is I'm taking a look at all of my internodal spacing and trying to determine where I want to be. The orange princess doesn't give you anything indication of what the plant genetics are on the stem. So it's kind of like blind shooting. You can't choose better nodes. You just have to choose where the leaves look the best. Now with her, I'm loving this top cut, but I'm going to have to keep that intact so as not to ruin this particular nodal set. It's real tight up in here. I mean, I could probably cut here at this node, but it is so close to the next node. That's even closer to the next node. I need to put her farther away from a light and elolate them. So this is a trick I do sometimes. If the nodes are really close, I will put them farther away from a light to encourage them to stretch out. But, yeah, we're going to go ahead and do this. I got it. Right there. All right, so what I love about this guy is she's rooted. She's thrown down a couple aerial roots and actually has one right here. So I may do a mid-cut on that one. Like right here. Trying to get it so you folks can see while I'm doing it. I know it's a little bit challenging. I feel like if we go right here, under that root. Now, Orange Princess is going to be a bleeder. I can already tell. What do I mean by that? Sometimes the plants have red when it comes to their vascular system. So it comes off a little bit red. And so when I say a bleeder, you'll see they do sometimes get red all over your hands from the all their vascular system. All right, so we did this, and we see this aerial root down here, which I'm loving. So I think I'm going to actually take this leaf off so I can see what I'm doing. Love that. I am just going to take a short top cut. No. Oh, I almost screwed up. Look at me, not paying attention. I almost screwed up. She's been right under the grow light. Yeah, you can definitely tell that. And then I immediately put her under the grow light as well. I didn't even put any spacing on that. So the few leaves that she's shown in I think one or two, are equally crappily spaced for my purposes. But it's all right. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty freaking good at this. So not too worried. But I did almost make a rookie mistake and not sterilize my scissors, despite the fact that I'm using the same plant, or I almost actually picked up these really dirty scissors, which would have been terrible. It is a rookie mistake. You do need to sterilize every time, every cut. It is my recommendation. For those of you not running a tissue culture lab, you may get away with only cutting, only sterilizing when you move plant to plant. But if you're in a tissue culture lab, yeah, you need to make sure you're actually sterilizing. It's kind of important, friends. I think I'm actually going to take this leaf too because I want that extra node. We are tight up in here. All right, so here we go. Right below that top cut. Boom. And I'm going to save that itty bitty rooted guy right here. Now that only leaves me with one node. Nope, I'm going to end up taking him. because I'm going to use these 3. If I leave this little itty bitty guy, let me get my hands out of the way. If I leave this little itty bitty guy here and let him independently grow as his own cut, it's going to make it really hard to work with these other 2 nodes because they are very tight. So I'm just going to take this whole guy, and because he is attached, I'm going to snip. I don't want to damage the plant, and that one's pretty sturdy. So this is what we've got for our orange princess. Very tiny. Fingers crossed. Ooh, yeah. All right, folks, now that we've cut some plants, I am going to go ahead and let those pieces callus before I do anything with them. So they're on that plate. Everybody's sitting to the side. It takes, like I said, about an hour, and I probably won't be on long enough to show you what happens next. It's more just trimming down the node and then sticking it in media. I will be recording it as I go to put onto the social medias later as a recording, but I am going to stop my phone because at this point we're moving out of culturing and stuff. So everything in here that is in a jar or in one of our Tupperware containers is grown fertilizer free. So the ones technically in our terrarium area. Fertilizer and pesticide free. So this is a Sonalarina super spot. That's what this guy is. We have 2 of them in here as well as another big one. This guy here, the smaller of the 2 would be 15. The bigger of the 2, this guy here, the bigger one is 20. They are living in a closed, and mind you, everything that I'm going to show you now is terrarium, clean terrarium, meaning they're used to an enclosed system here. Like the lid's going to go back on, 100% humidity. You see these begonia tiger kitten, this specific batch of begonia tiger kitten, not the ones that have been living in our lab. So these are also available for sale. It looks like one big old node in there. And so that guy right here, where's the best spot? Oh, this is overwatered. But that guy right there would be $15. All right, next up, this is one of our terrarium species. I'm curious what he is. I was going to say this is homolamina. This is not homolamina. And it's definitely some kind of fuzzy boy. Looks really cool. I don't know. Fuzzy on the back. Very cool. Look at that petiole. Let me see if I can show you the petiole. Very fuzzy. Fuzzy petiole. Very cool. So these guys, there's only one in this one. That guy, 15. Up next is actually Homolamina. This is Homolamina rubescens, not variegated. It's the more silver version of rubescens. This is one pretty large plant, not two. Two large plants in here. They're about equivalent size. One's growing this way, and the other one is growing off to the side. Each one of these would be 15 as well. And finally, we have the Sonalarina uliolum. Almost broke everything. All right, and my favorite by far terrarium plant, Solium uliolum. It is a very gorgeous purple plant. You folks have probably seen me show it off before because my mother is cool. This guy, one little guy, he's the only one I can guarantee is fertilizer free because he's being grown in our fertilizer free zone. And he has a hitchhiker of some sort. Who knows? Anyways, this guy would be $15. I can pop up any of those for you if you would like. Or you can just scoop them up. I know you're coming in next week. They will be available next week as well. I'm going to tuck her back. These are all high humidity, folks. Make sure you are putting them in high humidity if you get them. Oh, thank you so much, Fancy Twig. We've cutting plants for TC and are talking reptile safe plants now. That is correct. I asked about those before and was told they are poisonous. What are you trying to, I guess the next question shifted is going to be, what is your tank? Ooh! I'm breaking shit around here. I am currently checking on toxicity. Well, for now you have jumpers and mantis. So with jumpers and mantis, you're not going to have to worry about it. With a gecko, you may. I'm checking on that right now. Yeah, okay. The Solium is straight out for a gecko. The Solium would be good for other types of terrariums. Again, mantis terrariums, and jumping spiders, even arboreal spiders. Any kind of spider would be fine because the spider is not going to attack your plants. The problem is a gecko may actually come in and eat this. So this Solium would be safe for your mantid enclosure. She stays, she'll get a little fangly, but she does stay slightly compact. Like this is the size of, she'll get big. She'll trail. So I have recommended being in like a aquarium of some sort. Like my jumpers are in 3x5, so I wouldn't use this. But Yeah, I wouldn't try a gecko one only because the leaves can be toxic and everything else to geckos. It's the alkalis. Apparently, jumping spiders are not bothered by that. All right, I think I missed some comments. Boop, boop, boo. All right, we've cut some plan. I'm talking to your raid. Did you see that, Ro? Thank you. All right. Well, for now, jumper and a mantis, fantastic. And then the gecko, we covered that. I don't think she did, LOL. She was definitely walking around when it came in. Sure did. I missed. Thank you so much for that tip. Your plant rain. Did you see that, Ro? All right. Do you folks want to what do you want me to do next? We cut some plants, but I'm not going to sit here for an hour and talk about tissue culture because there's literally nothing to do in the meantime. I could give you a cute tour of the lab, post some things up for sale, let you watch my normal, because I'm probably going to repot some stuff next. That's probably what I'm going to do while I'm waiting for those tissue cultures, which take forever. So we'll see. Comment what you want. Oh, other sellers send you their people. Sometimes they call it a raid. Oh, all right. Well, thank you. See, I'm so far behind the times. What are you going to do? Lab tour? All right. Let's do a lab tour, friends. We haven't done one of those in a while. So, all right. Here we go. Don't judge me. I haven't had a chance to clean. I got bitten by a dog today, and I was supposed to clean all day, and then me and my dog got attacked. So, did not happen. This is our anthurium tent. That is my favorite modernum in the entire world right there with that big red leaf. Probably my favorite anthurium in the entire world. We got bitten. We were walking and the dog came out and attacked us. Here's my arm. Boom. My Great Dane was not having it, so he protected me quite well. And then we got this gorgeous anthurium Rigo. Thank you, everybody. It wasn't that big of a deal. The person came running out. It was a mistake on their part, you know. They were apologetic and gave me their number. They weren't shady about it. They gave me the rabies certificate for their dog, and we're okay. So thank you, everybody. Could have been much worse, but we are quite lucky. What kind of dog? It was an American Bulldog, or English Bulldog. It was a bully breed of some sort, not a pit bull, because I'm real familiar with them. But its neck was very thick. And I comment on that because Edward, when the dog bit me, grabbed it by the neck and pinned it to the ground. And I actually had to pry his jaws open. But if the dog had not been some kind of bully breed with a thick neck, that's why I was thinking like English Bulldog or something, it could have been a lot worse for the dog's owner because that might not have ended well. Ed's a big boy. He's a Great Dane. So, yeah. Anyways. We added these cute little plant shelves here for all our plants that are just too darn tall for everywhere else. We have our soil bar that is almost completely done. We still kind of need to clean it up a little bit. Here is the bottom cut to my tie that I started culturing, one of my first cultures. It isn't actually large, like the dog's mouth is super duper wide, wider than I expected. Big face, like wide face. So, All right. I'm back. Sorry I had to go get your husband's Christmas gift. Love that anthurium, right? They're so beautiful. So here is the top cut to my tissue culture ties that I took a long time ago. I believe it was Gigi. I don't see her on here today. Was asking if she could use a plank on a Monstera delicioso, a cedar plank. I just wanted to show you folks that Monstera will literally anchor to anything. I'm trying to get a picture of these roots right here. They have anchored in to the wall. Don't tell my landlord. Here, let me go. Really trying to get a good pic here. Oh, no. Am I back? Are we good? You're moving yours. Okay, here, we're back. I'm going to try again to get you a good shot. Look. So these right here are physically attached to the wall. They've anchored themselves to the wall. So the Monstera does not care what you put it on. All right, our standard shells that you guys see a lot are semi-hydro, our gorgeous alocasia shells, all of our big boys down there. And then this corner has probably got to get redone. Our front window with this gorgeous, look at this bird nest, variegated bird's nest anthurium, sorry. Look how pretty she is. Trying to get a good picture of the variegation on here. She's stunning. And a lot of we do have orange marmalade cuttings available. Hoyas that we're still trying to get rid of. Dear God. Ended up getting stuck with Hoya. But that's okay. Our trellis. We actually had to cut some stuff out of the trellis because we just had to make more room because we switched these shelvings. We found this baker's rack for free. Look how stunning it is. It's so much better than my old baker's rack that I couldn't pass it up. But we did have to shift everything. There we go. Look how cool. I haven't even filled that one out yet. I can't grow monstera near the walls of my house. Matt does not appreciate how they grow on everything. Yeah, if you don't want your paint to be ruined, then I would not recommend it. Additionally, things to watch out for, folks. Your plants will grow in like the vents of your computer or your air vents, or the roots will grow in your fish tank, like filter vents. Like, you got to watch. Those roots will go anywhere. So, plants be planting. All right, over here is the last part of the major room where we have our table. And these are all the shells you find are fun. We've got strawberry shakes and white wizards, pink princesses. Let's see, over here are never-ending varicosiums and our snowdrifts, as well as some random odd boys up at the top. Here's the table. Here's a nice view of the lab. Our aquarium with isopods. And then we go into the next room. This is the culture room, as you can see from all these bright lights. All these cabinets are filled with all the cultures that you know and love. Look at those guys. Happy, healthy cultures. We have a for sale cabinet. That's our culture for sale cabinet over by our humidity loving boys. That is the only cabinet we have for plants per se. These two right here. One is begonia, and the other one is our other humidity lovers with also some begonia. All right, here is our succulent and carnivore area. Down on the bottom, you'll see we have our sansevieria, whale fins, that kind of stuff. And up here are all of our nepenthes, pinks, sundews. What kind of lights I'm using changes significantly on where we are. So this particular area is a T8. So this is running about 40 watts. The ones that are lower over the sansevieria, these are not running. These are running, I think these are T5s. So they're only 20 watt output. With your carnivores, you need your wattage to be 40 or better. I actually want to upgrade them to 60 at some point. So 40 watts for normal houseplants, your Hoyas and all this, all these guys on our ceiling, these are all 40 watt or T5s. All the stuff on the carnivore is higher power. These guys, not so much. This is our acclimation area. We're little forests and forests of little guys are trying to decide what they want to do with life. Look at our siltificania. I just cut her the other day because she is getting freaking nuts. And she's still getting nuts. Good Lord. All right, and finally, our little succulent area. We do actually have some cool succulents in our front window. I missed that. This window right here, super cool. It contains, let's see, we have some Hoya in here. One of my all-time favorite. We 3D printed this. My son and I 3D printed this particular skull. And I just saw almost the exact same thing on Temu for $5. A little bit irritated about that, but that guy's no longer for sale. I mean, if it's going to be that cheap on Temu. Oh, so here's the cabinet of here are our African violets. Here's the cabinet of stuff we don't spray. Almost entirely begonia and terrarium plants. And I think that, the actual lab. What printer do I like for the 3D printer? Okay, so we got a Bamboo A3, A1? Bamboo A1. We have a bamboo A1 with the, sorry, my son does most of the 3D printing, with the ABS. And it's cool, and I like it. Yeah, he had it was a knockoff. It wasn't a knockoff, but it was a rebranded Flash Forge, and he didn't like that one. It required a lot of maintenance, and I'm not there, and he's young, so it was chaos. The Bamboo A1 has only needed preventative maintenance and has been a dream, and their support has also been a dream. So Bamboo Labs, I would get one of theirs. They have the X1 if you're like super into printing. We're not there. You know, the Bamboo A1 or even the A1 Mini if you're not doing a ton would be kind of cool. All right, I am going to move in here later today. This is our sterile tent, so I have to sterilize, but I am going to let you guys look in here, break sterility for a minute, just so that you can see what it looks like in here, and then I'll run my UV light. So that's the lab. And then I don't quarantine very often, but hey, you guys are here. So we require an independent quarantine. We don't allow anybody to fuck up our plants. Anything that comes in from somebody else, except for Planty Pittsburgh, because I trust her, comes into here, gets jammed into this poor, crazy bathroom, and goes through many months of treatment. Many weeks, I guess, would be the most appropriate. And finally, these two tents behind me, they are for our mushroom growing. We do lion's mane, pink oyster, chestnut, white enoki. We're working on cordyceps. They're a little bit hard to fruit, so. And finally, this area back here, these are all our mantids, spiders, and isopods. And that's the entire lab we're seeing. There's some closets and shit like that, but I don't think you need to see those. All right, folks. So I've got about 30 minutes left before I have to go address these things in the fume hood. Is there anything anybody would like to see before I sign off? Oh, wow. Are you going to sell spiders? I do have spiders for sale. Can we see some of the mantids? Okay. I'm happy to show off my mantids and the spiders. We have Phidippus regis for sale. So that is the old jumping spider, and I'll show you up close some of these guys. So first off, we have ghost mantis. Let me grab my other tablet because I need to be very careful when handling these, and I want to make sure that you can see as well. Because if I drop them, it's not like a plant, or if I break it, I can prop it. If I drop them, I may actually harm the critter. You just got a ghost and a dragon's breath regal. Nice! We got the whole operation. We sure do. So we just got dropped off to us by not Shifted Cryptid. It was Saltacidi Vibes. That's right. Sorry. Your usernames always get me confused. Everybody knows that. But anyways, we just got an unexpected gift. And it is this little dude here. This adorable little flower mantid. Where is he? I'm trying to get him on the... There he is. So this is a flower mantis. He showed up yesterday, which is why he is not in a permanent enclosure. Saltacidi Vibes does have more of these cute little flower mantids available. They are local, so I could get them dropped off to me and shipped to anybody interested. They come from Moonlight Mantids on Palm Street, so we do know their lineage, but she has about 10 more if anybody's interested. Saltacidi Vibes also breeds certain species. I know they do Phidippus regis. And something else, not Phidippus regis. So she dropped off what is a Paraphidippus fartalis. Trying to get her on here. There she is, that cutie patootie right up here. It's really hard for you guys to see, but she is itty bitty. She is full grown at that size. Oops, I shifted. There she is. Full grown at that size, adorable little baby. But she just moved into her enclosure yesterday. So she's doing pretty good. We have a couple of our smaller spiders for sale that are doing really great. Here's one of our boys currently eating. So right there, if you see him, I'm not going to disturb him. He is currently chewing on a maggot. Loving it. I have 13. Oh, Saltacidi, there we go. You're here. She has 13 of those guys left, and that was the flower mantid. Just to show you guys again. They came from Moonlight Mantids on Palm Street. Saltacidi did a great job of hatching them out of the ooth, and they look adorable. Look at that little doodly dude. So we are working on getting him a permanent enclosure, but for now he's chilling in the cup he arrived in. We always have extra spider enclosures around because I'm such a fan. So since we're new to mantids, we're working on getting extra enclosures sitting around, but they require the tooling on the top to hang on, so I can't just throw them in something like partially empty and call it a day. Whereas spiders are a lot more tolerant of that. We have a couple of our dudes ready. Almost everybody has just molted again. I know Saltacidi, I think they have Phidippus regis as well for sale. We have 2 here that do not come from them. They come from Spood something. I'd have to go and look. It's been a little while since I bought them. But just so you look, I'm trying to show you this little doodly dude right here. He just molted, so you look in his enclosure. I'm attempting to see that it looks like there's something in his nest. There it is. That's his old exoskeleton right there. Fresh molt, looks amazing, if not a little bit skittish. So we have 2 boys and 2 girl Phidippus regis available. I will show you my beloved. Poppy is not for sale. This is Poppy. There she is. Sorry, I dropped you for a minute. Let's go back and take a look at, I was showing you my girl. This is my second spider. My first one passed. His name was Anansi. This is Poppy. She was number 2 with her brother Chad, who never comes out. You can't even see him anymore. He hides up in the back. The problem with adult males when they reach about a year is they're about done. They just want to mate and be left alone. So getting them to eat and do things gets challenging. But Poppy came out to look. Can you guys see? She actually popped her little head out to see us. She is quite the interactive. She's currently cleaning her shells and staring at us. Hi, sweetie. Oh, here she comes. She's coming out like, what? You got something for me, Mom? Are we going to play? No, honey, I'm not going to play with you right now, sweetie Petey. A little bit later. She's always waiting for me to take her out. She is the most interactive of my spiders. See, she's asking right now, take me out. Take me out, Mom. Sorry, Pumpkin, not today. She's pretty awesome. I will be sad when she goes, and it's challenging with spiders and mantis because they just don't last that long. They live a year or 2 depending on species and whatnot. All right, so the dude you're looking at now is one of our ghost mantids. We have 2 of them available. They are both boys. I ended up with 2 boys. That's okay because they were brothers and I didn't intend to breed them anyways. But we do have one for sale because I don't need 2 boy ghost mantids that are brothers. I really just don't. So there's one here, and we have another one here. Let me try and get up a little bit. Sorry, I know that's a fire hazard. Let's not pay attention to that. There we go. Are we seeing homeboy? Yeah, he's right there. So those are our 2 ghosts. We also have a dead leaf. That's this guy right here. He's staring at you. Right in the front. See his little... right there. That's our dead leaf. And then we have 1 grizzled mantis, and it is our only mature and first mantis. This is my first mantis right here. I'm trying to show her. It's hard because of the reflection on the light, but she is at the top. This, where's my finger? Where's my finger? There she is. Did you see her move? She saw me coming in and got a little bit nervous. She's been a little stressed since her last molt because we almost had a miss molt. You can see one of the wings is damaged. It's kind of crooked. I don't know if you can on this. I can't zoom out because I'm using a front camera, or I can't zoom in. But her wing right here is a little bit damaged from her miss molt. Miss molts are common. It's not always because you didn't provide humidity or something like that. Sometimes they just have a rough molt. This case, I think I didn't expect the grizzle to get that big. And I think it might have been my fault because you're supposed to have an enclosure that is at least 2 times the body width and 3 times the height. So we got the height right, but I think she was wider than I thought. It wasn't quite 2 times the width. I don't know. I might also be blaming myself for something that's a completely natural process, which is, totally in my wheelhouse to do. So either way, that was a cool little, shifted cryptid, cool little experiment in the lab. I showed you pretty much everything in here. What is that again? Which one? The mantis? What is a mantis? I'm going to have to look it up. That's horrifying. It is a praying mantis. Enclosure recommendations. So I use what is called a small critter enclosure. For mantis, it's going to be different. For jumping spiders, for Phidippus regis, you're fine with something that's 4 inches by 4 inches by about 8 inches because they're not particularly large. You would see that was the larger enclosure that Poppy was in. The smaller enclosures I do for the babies so I can keep a better eye on them and make sure they're eating and stuff like that. For the mantis, I did the same enclosure, but the grizzled mantis, as you see, it's a little bit larger than I would do that enclosure again. I definitely would get a larger one. But for both the ghosts and the dead leaf, and I'm sure the flower, those guys stay tiny too. So I'll probably stick with that size enclosure because you don't want them to be too large. It can become problematic for them to hunt. Let's see. JW loves bugs. Yay! One of us. Definitely. Unless they are eating my plants. Same, man. If it's eating my plants, I got problems. But if it's just being adorable, all about it. All right. I know. So cute. I love to boop them too. And their mouthpieces, like mantid mouthpieces, are nuts. I actually ended up looking the anatomy up after watching them hunt a couple of times. I was like, that is nuts. They will literally eat it whatever they catch from whichever end they catch it. So that could be a little mortifying, but it's kind of fun. Oh, yeah. Isn't she the greatest? I did say mantid planty Pittsburgh because you could say mantises, but I think mantid is actually the correct English for that one. Joe V, what else do I got? Did you mean mantis or bugs? I have isopods. We have mantis, spiders, and isopods. Those are the bugs that we have intentionally. Anything else gets sprayed if it shows up. So, But that's also why we have them back in the closet. Well, not a closet, but it's in a back room away from when we pest treat on here. Until we switch back to beneficials, probably in the spring, we're going to have them isolated for a while. Thanks, Saltacidi. Yeah, that's what I was guessing. You have to, JW. I am getting the most adorable paintings in, like little oil paintings that go inside the enclosures and stuff. Yeah, you have to change that for sure. Come check ours out. The 4 of our spiders, the Phidippus regis, 2 of them are male and 2 of them are female, and they haven't done their final molts yet. That's the best time that I suggest getting them because you get to see the process of molting at least once, and you know the age, and you know they're not going to be pregnant. I mean, you know you're getting them from me, and I promise they're not pregnant because they're not wild caught, but if you were to buy from somebody else, make sure that it's right before prime would be my suggestion because some people will say that it's captive bred, and it's not. Shifted cryptid, what kind of pods do I have? Joe71 has a lot of Madagascar hissers. Cool. All right, let's talk about pods for a little bit. They are for sale, depending on what it is. So we have dairy cow, red koi, and powder orange that we are selling. They would be 10 for 10, 20 for 15, because they are in the big containers up here. Dairy cow, red koi, and then powder orange have actually dispersed into the other things, and we need to relocate them. So we also have, I'm going to set this up and show you some cool isopods now, friends. Don't fall. You got it? All right, fantastic. All right, some of my favorites. The Punta Cana. Now, I love these ones and think they are totally underrated because the Punta Cana naturally come in all these colors. So you see that? Some of them are brown, some are red and brown. Sorry, guys, sorry. And some of them are like white. That is all their natural colors. Let me pull out one. Come here. Can I have you? Come on. Trying to get him in front of the camera. Here we go. This is like a blonde Punta Cana. So cute. Very cute little roly-poly. Let me see if I get out of the picture and put him in the picture. You're seeing my right. There we go. Cutest little Billy Bug. Loves him. All right, go ahead, dude. Go back home. All right. The Punta Cana. Those are indeed 20 for 15. The Punta Cana, the Dairy Cow, the Powder Orange, and the Red Koi, 20 for 15. Up next, we've got Yellow Zebra. These are $1 a piece, no discounts. $1.50. Sorry, $1.50 a piece for these. These are yellow zebras. So we have two types of these zebras in the lab. Come here. So this is what the colony normally looks like. You have to open up the bottom and take a look. They're hiding. See, they will come out and run around because they don't like being disturbed, but most of the time they're underneath. They don't like being messed with. All right. This is what a yellow zebra looks like. He's playing dead on me. He was literally just crawling around, and now he's like, oh, I don't exist. Whatever, dude. I know you're lying. See, I feel your legs. There you are, you fool. I knew you were lying. So this is a yellow zebra. It's striped like a zebra, but it's yellow. There you go. All right, honey, you can go back home. The yellow zebras are $1.50 a piece. Let's see. We have Pineapple Spiky. Those are going to be a real pain in the ass for me to get up to. So let me get a step ladder. Oh, I think I can actually take them down this way. Let's see. I will pop some of these up for you folks. If anybody take a list of what you're interested, I will go ahead and pop some up for you soon. I mean, those are kind of cute, but you can't get with the spiders. I can't blame you. Some people don't like spiders. Plants on Mars, I just watched a Supernatural episode about that. No way. Too funny. All right, so these are our Pineapple Spikies. Pineapple Spikies are $2 a piece. They are a miniature version. You're the one I want. They are a mini species, a dwarf species. So they don't get particularly large. This one in my hand. Oh! I don't want to lose him. Here we go. Because they are my faves. I don't know how to get him. He's busy playing dead again. So they're called roly-polies because they curl up and play dead. You see that little ball in my hand? There he is. I think he's going to come out. No, he has no interest in coming out while he's on my hand. But they are the cutest little spiky balls. Look at him. They are cream. There's only brown on him because he got a little dirty. And he is so balled up right now, you can't really see him. Boop. All right, back in his enclosures. Jumping spiders are the cure to arachnophobia. Could I bundle some pods in my shipping? Joe V, you went out today, unfortunately. Did you buy something else today? We could definitely bundle something from today, but your order actually went out earlier today. I'm going to use that at work, busy playing dead. A jumping spider bit you? No! So it's funny you say that, Planty Pittsburgh, because I used to be terrified of spiders because a wolf spider scared me. It didn't even bite me, but it made like it scared me on a jungle gym, and I literally fell off and broke my nose. So there's that. Didn't get any today. Uh-oh. All right. Well, that's okay. So next up, we have Panda Kings. Everybody loves a Panda King because they look like little pandas. Let me grab one. Panda Kings would be $1.50 a piece species. There we go. All right. Also playing dead and not being very, very show ready. Cute little ball, though. Let's see if I can show you some on a log because they are really adorable. All right, Panda King. Panda King incoming. And this is where my powder oranges are trying to take over my other bins. Those are powder oranges. Those are free with purchase. I'll throw in 10 powder oranges with any purchase if you want them. They're everywhere. They keep sneaking into my other bins, and now I got to shift my bins and stuff. So irritating. Wish I knew you had all these. Yeah, I don't push them often just because I know a lot of people are afraid of critters, and I like to make sure there's plenty of warnings. There are a couple in my shop, but the availability changes with a lot of the other bins so frequently. Like for a while, we had to stop selling our Cubaris Glacier because I just sold so many I didn't want to collapse the colonies by selling off everybody that we love. All right, and I will show you the glaciers real quick. These are a full-size species. No, that's not them, FYI. That was the Portella high yellow, and they are not for sale just yet. I'm still growing those. All right, so here is an idea of what the Cubaris Glacier looked like. Look, they're all pitching themselves off here. Ah, scary, scary. Go back to bed, guys. Go back to bed. They're all freaking out. When they are young, they have cute little stripes down their back. It's actually, you're seeing their intestinal system. Come here. Like their intestinal tract. There we go. So here is a young Cubaris Glacier. There we go. Cute, right? Again, the brown is dirt and not actually anything other than the middle stripe down their back, in which case you are actually seeing his intestinal tract. See that? When they get bigger, you don't see that as much. Let me show you on an adult. How did you get all the way up there, sir? What are you doing? Where's a big one? So yeah, this is why we had to stop selling out of the colony. I wasn't seeing nearly as many adults as I liked seeing before I sell. Yeah, I don't see one that is totally without that white stripe down the back. But those are our Cubaris, exactly like a shrimp. Yeah. Shrimp, you're seeing the exact same thing as you would on a shrimp. So we have Cubaris Glacier for sale again. They are $1.50 a pod. The pineapple spikies are $2 a pod. What else is up here? Regular zebra. Shiro Utsuri. So Shiro Utsuri is for somebody really, really into isopods because they look a lot like dairy cow. You just have to take a look at the patterning. So if you don't know what it is, this is a Shiro. Here is a Shiro Utsuri. Here we go. Very similar patterning to a dairy cow, but the skirt, and if you're not into isopods, you are not going to know what I'm talking about. This skirt is serrated. So think fenstrations on a plant. You see how this little guy has little slices on his side? It's called a skirt. And some species have it and some don't. So this is a Shiro Utsuri and they have the serrated skirt. Dairy cows look very similar, but they're a Portella, so they're a different species. They will look a little bit different at their skirt. All right, thank you, mommy. Go back. There you go. Alrighty, who else do we have? We have nasturtium and silver ducky. Titans. We do not have titans for sale. We do not have white sharks for sale. Both of those colonies look very small, so those are not up for grabs, but we do have them, and hopefully we'll have some for sale soon. But yeah, that's where we are with those two. Yeah, their colonies are not established enough for me to sell. Let's see, and I'll show you the silver ducky. That's probably our last dude up that we have available for sale. And if you want me to put any of these up for actual sale, let me know. We can combine shipping. Of course, I can ship tomorrow or hold until the next year. And any purchase does apply to our raffle tickets. So there's that. Okay, more Cubaris Glacier. Yeah, I have 2 tubs of Cubaris Glacier now. So many. Isn't it an adorable skirt? I love thinking about it as like the fenestrations on the isopods. That's why I have a fondness for the Shiro, even though they look almost exactly like the dairy cow. You just have to pay attention to that skirt. And I love the placement of the eyes in the Shiro. They look humanish. Okay. Here's a nasturtium. Here, homie. Come here. Why are you being a pain? Oh, silver ducky. Come here. And nasturtium. Did I show you the nasturtium? I don't think I did. Silver ducky, where are you going? There we go. So Cubaris duckies. Cubaris are usually called the cutest. They are adorbs. This guy's totally having a little freak out of on his own here. See if we can get him up on the camera. Dude, stop running. So they are duckies. This is a Cubaris ducky that is currently trucking along like a crazy man. Silver ducky. So normally you'll see the rubber duckies. Where'd he go? There we go. Normally you'll see the rubber ducky. This is the same species. You'll see the cute eyes. If I can get them in there. Very adorable eyes, but they are silver. This guy's making it very hard because he is on the motor and he's like the most awake. Cubaris are one of the more aggressive species. They're not aggressive per se, but they are definitely going to be higher on the list than, say, pineapple spiky. Pineapple spikies are very chill. And I think that's everybody today. That was everybody. Yeah. So, if anybody would like me to post up any of the isopods, I'd be happy to do so. And we did the lab tour for the silver duckies. Those would be $1.50 a piece. They grow pretty well, and they're not crazy expensive. It wasn't too hard for me to find. I am looking for ember bees. Obviously, who isn't? Those are the best. Like, for the creme de la creme isopods, those are the way to go. So, you need to say ducky in Ernie's voice. Ducky! You're right, I do. It's from Bert and Ernie. That's rubber duckies, you're the one. And ironically, that's one of the ones I need. I have the silver ducky, but I don't have a rubber ducky or a blonde ducky. There's so many versions of that guy. Super cool. All right, I'm going to smoke a joint and wait and see if you guys want me to do anything else, but I'm considering calling it in the evening so I can clean up and finish up those cultures. I do have, how much on my timer? I have 15 minutes on my timer, so I am going to have to head off in 15 minutes. That's cool. You'll get some from me eventually. Fantastic. The nice thing about colonies is once you get them going, they keep going. So we'll have more. Some may not be for sale. Obviously, they rotate in and out. I don't like to oversell my colonies. It would weaken the genetics if we sold too many of ours. Just like plants, I like to keep one or two around just to make sure we don't run out. But yeah, how was my Thanksgiving? It was fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. We had a really chill day. I normally, up until this year, have been traveling with my family. We normally went to Baltimore or Boston. So this is the first time that we really chilled in Pittsburgh. It was nice. I'm not going to lie. It was nice to stay home and not be running all Thanksgiving. How was your Thanksgiving play to Pittsburgh? Hopefully full of family fun. All right, folks. Anybody else got anything else they want to see? We did the tour. I must have said that wrong. We did the tour. We cut some plants. We had some fun. Who takes care of your plants when you travel? Gavin does. It is a Gavin job. Kenny is more for show. I know I called Kenny a new employee, and he is. And for all intents and purposes, he is working for me, technically. But Kenny likes to come in and wander around and do some stuff here and there. But Kenny doesn't do a lot of work. Not to mention he can't actually get here on his own because he doesn't have a car. And I don't know that he can drive right now because of his left arm. I don't know. He probably can. He has his right functionality. That's what we drive with. He still had his license, but he hasn't driven in some time because of the stroke. So Yeah, Kenny's just for show. He's adorable. We love him. He's a morale booster, like a mascot. We had Indian food and then I got the flu, so I'm still sick. Oh, I'm so sorry, Planty Pittsburgh. What a terrible way to spend your holiday. But Indian food sounds really good, honestly. I mean, oof, I've been craving some. Avi has a new leaf. He has his first double fenstration. What? I would love to see that, Noom. Send me over some pictures, girly girl. Joe V. Gavin is the only person that legitimately works for me. He works a couple of days a week. He does not want to be on social media, which is why you have never been introduced to him. A lot of people that come in here enjoy the fact that they may be able to do some stuff on social media, but Gavin has no interest in that, and he's my employee. I respect that. So when he first started working for me last November, Gavin has now passed a year. He requested, I always ask, do you want to be on the videos? And he said, no. So if you haven't come in here on a Friday or a Saturday, you have not met Gavin. Gavin sticks with greeting people and helping those that come in. And literally, he's my right-hand man. He's the only reason we're able to have the hours that we do. Right? I'm addicted to social media, too. If somebody asked me if I walked into a shop and they were like, I'm live, you want to be on? I'd be like, hi. But Gavin is the sweetest little, not little, I don't want to say, he's, and because he's so much younger to me, I say little because I'm thinking he's almost the same age as my kid. Me, mind you, not quite, but, closer together than I am to either of them. But they are, Gavin is definitely sweet. He is a rock. He is consistent. He is here every Friday and Saturday. I mean, the kid is, I can't call him a kid. He's a fully grown adult. Just because he's the age of my child does not mean he's a kid. The fully grown adult male who happens to be much younger than me and works for me. He's just a great person. I adore Gavin. I'm very lucky to have him. So lucky to have him. He is just the sweetest, most predictable, reliable, pleasant. I mean, he's fun to talk to. But again, for those of you online, you will never meet him because I will never violate his privacy like that. He said no, that means no. Sorry, folks. For those of you that come in, you get to see him. So it's a bonus. All right, folks. Anything else you want to talk about before I go? I have to scrub myself up pretty good. I got my arms nice and dirty, so I got to clean these fingernails and everything like that. Make sure I'm all sterile before stepping in the hood. Thus the joint. Gavin is cool as hell. I am so lucky. I think it was karma. After I had that first snafu with my first employee that was stealing time and money from me, I think it was karma's way of saying that you've been through enough with employees. Have Gavin. Yay! And then I just got Kenny as like the bonus mascot and everything. I did not expect him coming back. And I honestly, when I brought him on, I don't expect him to work. His left side is still extremely incapacitated. He can use it a bit, and he does. And I enjoy rehabbing him with all the plant stuff, and he loves it too. But there's not a lot of work getting done with Kenny. Gavin, on the other hand, works a lot. He does a lot for me. So if I go on vacation, and he is the major reason we are actually closed the 19th and 20th this month, because he's decided to take vacation. And thusly, I can't guarantee that I'm going to be here. I'm probably going to be here. So if anybody intends to come that weekend, just make sure you message me or make an appointment. I will make sure to be here at specific times. But yeah. But Kenny's good to have around. Are you kidding? Kenny is the best to have around. He is my morale booster. We sit and joke all day. And that's why sometimes it's not good to have him around, because Mr. Man is super distracting. But yeah, so that's the rundown on everybody. Thanks for joining me today, folks. I will be doing another live. I will be doing lives as it comes up. I did have one planned with Noobs, but as she said, so just a quick rundown on what I'm doing with Noobs. I don't have 1,000 followers on TikTok or Facebook yet, so I can't go live on them, which is why you'll see these streams are available on YouTube. YouTube has less strict laws about their lives. I only have 400 and, I don't know, 70? It's a guess. Don't quote me. 400, whatever, on YouTube, but I'm allowed to go live. So that's nice for YouTube, but for Facebook and for TikTok, I need to be 1,000 followers. Luckily, Noobs has well over 1,000 followers, has been coming by on Tuesdays to help us get the word out there. So I know because we are expecting snow tomorrow, not tomorrow. So sorry, friends. Normally, we will be doing a live on Noobs, and I'm trying to do purges at the same time. But so yeah, maybe I could do a live on Palm Street. I don't know. Either way, we've been trying to do that on Tuesdays with the anticipated snow. Tomorrow is not going to happen. We will be doing lives and videos throughout this season. I know there's been requests for us to discuss all sorts of different fun things, and I have a whole list in the back that we're going to be going down. I was selfish in this first live being about my cutting of Fester because he has been driving me nuts for too long. So, all right. All right, everybody. How are you? Solta City vibes. Talk to me in the spring. We usually bring on somebody in the spring to help. So talk to me. Right now, we're good. Gavin does the bestest. And I am never getting rid of Gavin, ever, ever, ever. If he leaves, it's on his own. And not because I haven't done everything in my power to keep him. But hey, you know, he's young and I'm sure his life will take him places. I'm hoping that it's with me as we grow. So yeah, in the spring, we usually bring people, one person on. We're not that big. So one person on is a part-time capacity just to help water because things get a little out of control. Spring would be a good time to reach out to me about that. So yeah. Nightly news mentioned Pittsburgh and the so yeah, it looks like we're going to get hammered, noobs. So, you know, we'll see you soon. I understand we'll go ahead and cancel. Since we're talking to each other, we'll cancel on tomorrow for that. So not looking forward to the snow, right, JW? I mean, this winter has been so brutal. I don't know how the rest of US is taking it right now, but Pittsburgh very infrequently sees snow before Thanksgiving. We saw our first snow in the air days before Thanksgiving. And then there was snow on Thanksgiving and the day after Thanksgiving. And now they're predicting tomorrow. So unless we get one of those crazy fall summers, it's probably going to be a nutso winter. So keep an eye out for us to be tracking weather patterns. It's very important when we ship. So that is that. So, all right, folks, that is it all. You're welcome, Solta CD. It was a pleasure to meet you in person. I really enjoyed that. Solta CD came by and visited us. It was lovely because now I have a Phidippus fartalis and the cutest flower manted. If you want them, I will shoot you directly over to Solta CD. I know she has the flower mantids, so anybody interested could go to them. And one of our ghost mantids is up for grad if anybody is looking for a ghost mantis. So let me know, folks. Be safe out there, everybody. That's right, noobs. Be safe out there, and even different neighborhoods will get different stuff. That's typical, especially because of our terrain, very mountainous, etc. So yeah, keep an eye out for those pop-up lives. And if you haven't bookmarked our first live of the year, make sure you do that and catch us on the other social medias. I really can't say where I'm going to be or what exactly I'm going to be doing. I really do wish I had 1,000 followers, but I appreciate Noobs allowing us to pop up live on hers. Not tomorrow, but most Tuesdays. All right, friends, last call. Any last minute requests, anything like that? We will not be shipping after today. I know I said that a couple of times, but now that these orders from today is it, we're cut off for the year. Unless it's like stickers for the raffle, stickers and a keychain, a plain to keychain, something I can stick in snail mail and not worry about sitting outside your house. We're done. And we will see you after the holidays. Make sure to catch our lives, though. Happy planting.